These are 5 makeup hacks that will change your makeup, change your face entirely. I'm really excited about sharing these with you because I think it's going to actually change your makeup game forever. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And don't forget, I'm over on Instagram. It will really be amazing if you come say hi there. Hit that little follow button and you can watch some reels, unboxing and all sorts. So moving into the video, we're going to start with the first hack, which is actually using concealer as your eye primer. As a professional makeup artist, I very rarely use eye primers, very rarely. In fact, I don't even think I use them other than the fact that sometimes I might need to review it just to see how it is for you guys. But otherwise, I don't use eye primers. And in my pro kit, which is for like my clients, I never use eye primers. So this is something that I have used for years and it is just a concealer. This is the best type of eye primer you could ask for. It's amazing. And you can actually adjust it according to what you need. So as an eye primer, usually you would use that because you are hoping to avoid kind of creasing, you are hoping to avoid patchiness with eyeshadow, and you're hoping to actually let your eyeshadow last longer. You can get all of those things by just using concealer on your eyelids. Now, I don't have anything on my eyelids at the moment. It's a little bit patchy. It's a little bit kind of like discolored because of my natural skin color there. But what I'm going to do is actually use a concealer now. Now, what you want to make sure is you use a concealer which is quite kind of creamy, but not too fluid. So something like the Tarte Shape Tape would be amazing. Also, the Surat Dewdrop concealers are amazing as well because they're kind of opaque. So you apply it and it goes on like a cream almost, like a thick cream, and it kind of self-sets, but we're going to set it anyway. So you want to make sure the consistency is not too fluid. It's got to have great coverage in there, that you get that really nice kind of even finish as well and it stays put. So I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape. This is my 35N medium, and I'm literally just going to put a little bit here and a little bit there. Now what I do is I get my beauty blender and I start kind of pressing that in. There's actually nothing on my eyelids other than my eye cream that I put on a while back. And even my eye cream, to be fair, is always up a bit higher. It's not on my actual eyelid. Okay, can we see how immediately that has kind of like smoothed out the eye area? The color is amazing. You're not going to get that with an eye primer. This way, by using a concealer, you're actually making sure that everything kind of is even enough that it kind of melts into the rest of your face too, whereas it doesn't look disconnected. So I'm just going to do the same here. And I'm just taking it up into the brow as well, not on it, but just up into that hair, just so that there's no gap. Okay, so now that we've got that concealer there, you can see that we've got that really nice even finish. It's all one color, so that's amazing because now we don't have to worry about the patchiness. Now, there are a couple of things. You have to make sure that there is no crease there before you set this with powder, because if you leave a crease there and you don't set it with powder, or you set it after the crease has developed there, what you're doing is setting that crease. So you want to make sure there's absolutely no crease there. And what I mean by crease is, like, you know, where you open your eyes and you've got that natural crease. What happens is this concealer is going to start sitting in that line, and it's just going to be really obvious because there's a build-up of product within the crease and you can really see it. Now, I can already start seeing it here. If you look closely, you might be able to see like that crease is kind of picked up all the product there. Now, what we want to do is make sure that that's nicely set and like the product is taken out of the crease. I am going to get my powder. I've got my Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder in Light Banana. I've got my powder puff ready. I'm just going to dip this into that. Now I've got my sponge because what I want to do is make sure that there is no crease there before I actually set it. Otherwise I'm just setting the wrong kind of thing. Pick up all that product. And also don't forget, you don't want to apply too much concealer either, because otherwise you're just really kind of putting too much product there. Now I'm grabbing that powder on my powder puff and I'm gonna go and press. There you go. I've got my Real Technique setting brush and there's nothing on the brush. I'm just dusting this powder away, and that now is basically done. That's my eyelid completely done. So it's completely set. There's no creasing there. The other side, you can see there still is some creasing because I haven't set it yet. I'm gonna get rid of this creasing there. And we're just getting rid of that product. Now, the eyelids are completely primed. So this is your eye primer. This is absolutely done. You can carry on with your normal eye makeup look. Now, there's a couple of things I just want to add. Like, obviously, if you are using a cream eyeshadow after this, I would just allow this to settle down a little bit and then apply your cream eyeshadow. So don't just do it immediately. And if you're using powder, that's absolutely fine anyway, because it's nice and kind of like set. Now, your eyes are going to be ready for you to do whatever eye look you want to do. Now that you've got this on, it's going to stay put, because what you've basically done is bake your eye area. We've baked the eye area so that that's going to stay put, and you're going to have that nice even finish, and it's going to be sweat proof. It's going to be like heat resistant. Like, your eye makeup will stay put and it will go on really, really nice, because what you've done is you've created the perfect base before even applying your eyeshadow. So that is your first hack. Now, the next hack is something that I have struggled with for quite a while, and it's only recently that I realized what I could do to actually help solve that issue. Now, do you ever have this issue where you are wanting to do your eyebrows, like you're using a brow pencil, and it just doesn't transfer onto your brows? Like, it just doesn't seem to transfer. I don't know how else to put this, but there have been times where I'm like literally sitting there with my brow pencil, like literally sitting there and it's just not going. It's just not, the color just keeps coming off. The reason for that is usually because you're either sweating, or your skin is too tacky, or you haven't set your foundation, your concealer around that area too much. It's just, there's too much kind of moisture there. That's the issue. And the reason I struggled with that for so long is because it's so hot in Dubai, and especially when I'm filming and things, like the lights are all on in my studio and it gets hot, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, there's just like, it's just not staying on my brows. That's the one area that I have struggled with for a long time. So I found a couple of things really help with this. So this is kind of like a couple of hacks built into one. The first being, we want to make sure that area is nice and dry. So what we're going to be doing is grabbing some powder on my Real Techniques brush. Just going to use the same powder I was using, and just making sure that I go over my brows. Not too much product, because also you don't want there to be too much of a product buildup kind of like on your brow area, but just enough that around it, it's nice and kind of dry. Now, the next thing that I do is I apply this. This is my eyebrow primer, but I've realized over time that this actually works as a great way to kind of almost mattify the brow area, mattify the actual hair, so that the product from my pencil transfers really easily. So what I'm going to do is just kind of squeeze this out, and I basically, I'm going to apply this over my brows, and then we're going to let that kind of dry. You've got to let it dry completely, and usually what I do at this point is kind of move on to another hack. Not another hack, like move on to something else. We're going to just let that kind of, it's hot in here. Let that dry up. So just give me a second. Usually it takes like about a minute or so. I'm going to grab my brow pencil now, and I am now going to just fill in my brows. And it's just so much easier for this pencil to actually kind of like transfer onto my brow area, whereas usually I struggle with that transfer. And once I've applied this, it just kind of like really smoothly applies. Next is my lip hack. So this is where I want my lips to look super natural, a tiny bit kind of plumper, like not as small as what they are. Not that I don't think they're actually that small anyway, but I don't want them to be kind of like looking like I've not done anything. But at the same time, I don't want them to look like they're overdone either, or overlined, or that, oh, she's got lip liner on. So this is my little lip hack that I use on a daily basis. And I always get people asking me like, you know, what color are you wearing? And actually, majority of the time I'm not wearing any lip color, but I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can create that nice natural lip color, even if you don't have a nice natural lip color. You know, sometimes I feel that not, especially when I'm working on different clients, not everyone has that kind of really nice fleshy color to the lip. I create that. So I'm going to show you how you can create that yourself. I have nothing on my lips right now. I'm going to grab my lip liner. I'm going to use my lip cheat in Love Trap. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to naturally feather in from the top of the lip and then the bottom of the lip as well. So I'm actually going to create a little cupid's bow here. You want to go for a lip color which is kind of rosy, but it can't be lighter than your natural lip line, if that makes sense. It's got to be a little bit deeper. In order for it to actually be, you know, make a difference, it's got to be a little bit deeper. Can you see I've just applied it to the top there? They're still a little bit strong for me, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And now underneath. All I've done is apply it to the top and the bottom. And I've gone a little bit, like not above my lip line, but the top part of my lip line, if that makes sense. So now that I've done that, I am basically going to grab my finger, not grab my finger, but I'm going to basically kind of flick to kind of like take off that color, but at the same time I want it to stay there, so it's a little bit blurred. So I don't want that obvious, oh, my lips went off funny there. That obvious lip line. Now it's blurred, but it does look a little bit fuller now because we've actually worked that way around. We're not focusing on this area at all. Next, I'm going to get a lip color that I like. So something which is like kind of nudie, rosy, because I want that natural flesh color. But at the same time, sometimes you can find these colors with your lipsticks, your liquid lipsticks, but they're not necessarily kind of like, they don't look right all over the lip, but you want that color, but you want it to look like it's naturally your lip. So I'm going to go with, this is Honey Blur, which is from the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush liquid lipstick range. And all I'm doing is going a little bit here, a little bit there. It's the tiniest amount, not enough to cover the whole lip. Then I'm going to get my Dior Lip Maximizer, which is clear. There's no color to this. And I'm basically going to just go on the sides of it. There. Okay, with my finger, I'm now going to flick. I'm not too worried about it going outside my lip line because that's actually the whole point. So it looks very blurred and it looks like you've got something, but you don't actually know what. And it doesn't look like it's precise, if that makes sense. Now I have that really nice natural lip. It looks a little bit bigger than usual, but at the same time, it doesn't look like, okay, she's got lip liner on, but she's actually got a really nice lip, but it's not looking like it's in my face and it, you know, it looks natural. So that's my other hack. Really hope you enjoyed that one because I feel like this is something that when you do, even though it seems so simple, when you kind of look at it and you think, okay, it's not going to make much of a difference, but when you do it, it actually does. So please do try this because I know that you're going to love it when you actually do try it. And you could use a different color lipstick as well, something which is a bit more red, because then it gives you that fleshy tone as well. I've used something which is a bit more kind of like orangey because I like that tone, but you can use any kind of color that you want, but the tiniest amount. Okay, next hack is that barely there eyeliner look. So we're creating a slight lift in the eye, but we don't want it to look obvious and we don't want it to look like, okay, she's wearing eyeliner. Now, what I'm going to do is grab my E06 brush from Sigma, and you can grab any kind of eyeshadow that you have, which is a deep or dark brown. And I'm going to use my matte 11 from the Master Mattes palette from Makeup by Mario. This is, I'm getting it onto the brush, taking some of it off on the back of my hand because I don't want it to be like really obvious. So I don't want to go in with loads of color. Now what we're going to do is we are going to basically almost kind of lengthen the lash line. So if you think about this top lash line here, we're going to actually lengthen it a bit here. So we're going, oh, that tickled. We're going in the same direction. So this upper lash line is going down like that, right? We're going to lengthen it a bit. So we're not changing the shape. We're following the natural shape, but we're just lengthening it a tiny bit. So all I'm doing is just lengthening that line. Tiniest amount, that's all I did there. Okay, and now what we're going to do, we're going to lengthen the bottom lash line here. So we're actually going to lengthen this in the same direction that it's going in. It's a super, super faint line. Very, very, very faint. That's a really easy way to kind of like give your eyes some shape, you know, give it that little bit of a lift which doesn't look obvious. So I'm going to finish off with a bit of mascara so you can really see the difference. But what we've done is we've lengthened that top lash line that way and we've lengthened the lower lash line that way, right? So I'm doing the same thing over here. This really tickles me. Whew. Just going to get my mascara. This is my Benefit They're Real Magnet Lashes. And honestly, this tiny, tiny little hack makes such a difference to your eye shape. Because it just doesn't look like, okay, it's just mascara and that's it. It looks like there's some shape there, but it doesn't look like, okay, she's got like eyeliner on, she's got a lot going on. It's just a very easy hack to lengthen the eye and also lift them ever so slightly. Now, my next hack is actually using I'm gonna use a lipstick, but you don't have to use a lipstick. This is a blush hack. This is something to really kind of give yourself that nice flush of color on the cheeks, but maybe you can't find the right color. I don't know about you, but I always find it difficult to find the right blush. I have a couple that I really like. I struggle to find the right color that helps to really kind of give me that really nice healthy glow without it just looking like every other blush color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a lipstick, which I personally love and I think looks great on the lips, but I wanna use it on my cheeks. And this is actually a combination of two colors that I usually use for my lips, which I absolutely love, and I always get compliments for this. But this is the Rare Beauty Lip Souffle in Inspire and Brave. So I'm gonna actually create the color on the back of my hand. So I'm gonna take a bit of each one of this so that I can get that color. So I've just basically got it there. Now on its own, sometimes the liquid lipstick can be a bit much to put onto your cheeks. So what I tend to use is mix it in with like a little bit of either like a kind of a liquid glow, or you can use like a moisturizer. I'm gonna use a moisturizer because I don't actually want a glow. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of my moisturizer into this, and this will just give it that creamy finish. Perfect. It's on the back of my hand there. Grab your sponge. And now we're just gonna press this in. And this is literally the blush, like the color that I love on my lips, but now I've got it on my cheeks. And it's just such a nice color. So I feel like you don't have to be so afraid of using these products all over. Like for me, I feel like this is my way of kind of getting the color that I like, rather than having to like rummage through blushes. And you know, sometimes I find the right color blush, but it's not the right texture or the finish, like it's got shimmer in there or something. So this way I feel like I can get the color that I want, and I can just mix it with a bit of moisturizer, so it actually does hydrate my skin at the same time, but it isn't kind of like patchy either on my skin. Like the moisturizer really helps to kind of give it that fluidity so it doesn't dry up or look patchy on my skin. So these are basically my 5 makeup hacks that can really help to kind of like just elevate your makeup game and help to enhance your features. Hopefully you can pick one of them or all of them and incorporate them into your own makeup kind of routine so that you can change how you do your own makeup. And yeah, I really do hope you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you've seen how these little things can really make a difference. And if you try them, let me know how you get on with them. Don't forget, all the products are listed in my description box below, so you just need to click on the links and it'll take you straight to it. And I'm sending you loads of love. Don't forget to check out my vlog channel as well, because there's a new vlog every Thursday and every Sunday on the channel, and I think you guys are gonna love it. I love you guys to bits. Thanks so much for sticking around and watching another video of mine. And if you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.